So for sign out, you are going to use the same one-liner over and over again in your H&P, in your progress notes, in your sign out, in the discharge summary. And when you call consult, it's the same one-liner. So I just want to really briefly just take 1 second. We only have a couple minutes here, more minutes here, but I really want to make sure that you guys see this. So Omar, did I pick the wrong one? Yeah. So this is a sheet. It's what we call one-liner. And for these particular ones, for the one-liner, the purpose of it is to give a glimpse of your patient in one sentence, right? During the admission and all the chart reviewing, you're going to spend some time, maybe like 15, 20 minutes, kind of gathering this information to develop this one-liner. And it's, again, going to be used multiple times throughout their admission. And this is very, very nice, is a list of the diseases that need more details and that you will want to know this about each of these conditions. How I do this is I first take a look at the discharge summary. I always start there, their most recent discharge summary. And then if they don't have that, then I look at the past notes from like the whatever clinic they're following up with. Like I'll look at the cardiology notes, their most recent one, the GI note, the most recent one. And so the purpose, and you will have like seen this because you'll have gone through like different seniors' notes or different attendings notes, or your attendings will start asking you these specific questions, and you'll like kind of piece it together, and you'll start like doing it because you notice that everyone asks you these, or you notice that like this is always followed by this. For example, anytime someone says congestive heart failure, they always follow it up with the EF. If it's ischemic or not, when was their last echo, what's their dry weight, like all of these should be followed by that. So the second you say congestive heart failure, have that information in parentheses ready to go. If they have a pacemaker, status post, like AV block, status post pacemaker, like what was the indication? If they had coronary artery disease, when was their last stress test? When was their cath? Their last PCI, when was their cabbage? So you can go through and read this. I'm not gonna go through every single thing, but these are just, if your patient has a history of this, just cross-check on this list. Omar has it as a resource, and it'll tell you what information you should be aware of. And then just with doing it over and over and over again, you'll just start doing it without looking at this, and you'll just notice like how important it is and how everyone uses like very, like if you see AFib, everyone follows that up with onapixaban, status post ablation, like whatever it is, but you'll just routinely get into the habit of getting these extra details for these conditions. Okay, so let's finish up this PowerPoint and then screen share and then. Okay, so that was the one-liner that we talked about. And then followed by the chief complaint and the working diagnosis, what you guys think is going on. And then you're gonna list the active problems with the active management steps. So not like, if you had diabetes in the one-liner, you don't need to write diabetes down here again, right? So just the active problems and what you're doing for it. You always want to give vital signs, mental status, which includes if they're alert and oriented, and to what, and what their DCS is. Any focal neuro deficits also comes in. You need, this is so important, because if you report no focal neurodeficits, but then your patient has residual right-sided weakness, say from a prior stroke, and all of a sudden there's a new nurse overnight and they page the night team, and the night team goes and they're reading your sign out and you're writing no focal neurodeficits, that's going to be an acute stroke that could have been prevented because they have a history of this. So really it's so important for mentation, GCS, and neuro deficits to be documented accurately and every day updated. And then their oxygen requirements. And then the final thing, especially if they don't have capacity, make sure that the emergency contact is there for them. So this is an example just to give you guys how you would type it into that box that we saw. Remember, we opened it up. We clicked on each patient, then we clicked sign off, and then we clicked comment. So this is what you would write in the box. So 67-year-old male, your one-liner, presents with whatever he presented with, admitted to medicine for whatever we admitted him for. CHF, currently being diuresed, net negative 2 liters, elevated troponin, we're ruling out ACS. It could also be type 2 demand. Overnight, he's hemodynamically stable. He's on 4 liters. GCS 15, there's no neurodeficits. What I would like you guys to do is to trend the troponin, always provide the last, whatever, if you're asking the night team to follow up on something, give them the number that it was when you last checked it, and then also give them the time of the next check because they should not be checking that themselves. And then finally, like giving them guidance of what to do. So, hey, if you get a page, if their urine output decreases, just give them an extra dose of Lasix, right? So this is like a very nice, concise, boom, 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 boom. You're giving them all the information they need for night team coverage.